Greetings, survivors and friends, SHADOWFRAX here with all the important news from PC Rust, and as we hurtle uncontrollably towards the final main patch of the year on December the 5th, there are some new items and quality of life changes, plus news of medieval barricades and knight armour. But first, something new has appeared on the staging branch, and it was a Hack Week project. Yes, the car radio's here. It's a level 2 item and can be crafted for 120 frags, same as a boombox. You'll find a new slot where it can be taped in all modular car cockpits, and from there, as long as the car is on, it will work just like any other radio in the game. You can also remove it with a hammer, which, funnily enough, is just how people usually do in real life in my experience. There are no plans, as far as I know, to let it be added to other vehicles like boats and choppers, but why not? Especially as we have a 24/7 Airwolf station now. What about one that plays Ride of the Valkyries on constant loop? Just an idea. Anyway, sticking with electrical items, a number of quality of life changes are coming, and a big one this month is that you'll now be able to rotate lots of different electrical components before placing, as you can see in this list on the commits, including splitters, branches, lights, and even disco floors. Water pumps and sprinklers are included as well. What a time to be alive! There's also a new replicated convar as shown here, which powers all player-placed electrical I/O entities on a server without needing power. And all batteries will now have a new fully charged output slot, which will output 1 power when the battery is fully charged. There's also another new convar, which you can see here. Default is off, but if it's activated, then homing missiles will be able to target hot air balloons as long as they're fully inflated. The hot air balloons, that is, not the homing missiles. In other quality of life changes now, there are some adjustments to crafting on stone high externals. The recipe is now changing to craft 3 at once, and they'll require 1 sheet metal and 4,000 stone. Not only, but also in a big change, you'll now be able to upgrade wooden high walls and gates to stone versions with a hammer. And this works for gates even with a lock attached. The possibility is being looked into that rather than using the stone and sheet metal costs to upgrade wooden high externals, if you have a stone version in your inventory, it will use that instead, but this is still being thought about, and so it's very much subject to change. For stats nerds, a vending machine transaction history section's being added. You'll be able to see stats in the admin panel for which items have been purchased and when, the total amount of each item sold, and total revenue. And the reload bug for the rocket launcher's been fixed, hopefully, as well as some adjacent bugs, and you can read about the issue and solution here. Rad pills are being buffed, as well as a higher buy value at the bandit camp, dehydration's being halved, and their radiation decrease amounts being tripled. The point where you start needing oxygen underwater is being made more accurate with an increase to the depth at which it kicks in, and a load of new modding prefabs are being added, including some new cubes, cold, heat, radiation volumes, and more. You'll now be able to pick up and shred choppers at the junkyard, as long as they're turned off, and they will each output a quantity of scrap which will be based on their current health, and you can see the values in this commit here. There are some more tweaks to wolves this week. Their dynamic vision range is being reduced slightly, and this will either decrease or increase further depending on whether you're crouching or sprinting, with crouching allowing you to get within melee range if approaching from behind. Junk piles will despawn if any loot is taken from them, / barrels destroyed, etc. Now, instead of requiring everything to have been looted first, this doesn't apply if just the scientist has been killed, and diving sites are not affected. The 16x scope's being changed to a variable zoom scope, with 4, 8 and 16 times being selectable, and keybinds to switch, increase and decrease zoom levels being added to the options menu. Please note, these will also apply to binoculars, although left click will still work to switch between zoom levels as before, and the drop box is having its slots increased from 1 up to 4. Which is nice. Ice sculpting, which is probably going to be dropping in December at some point, has been getting some more love and features. Not only do the models look better now, but there are some extra controls to help fine-tune your models. Your tool can be switched into smoothing mode by holding shift and clicking right mouse button, and the carve radius can be adjusted by holding shift and using the mouse wheel. Can't wait to see what totally inoffensive works of art everyone produces with this. Over to works in progress now, and further to last week's look at siege weapons, the ballista now appears to have 4 types of ammo: hammerhead, incendiary, piercer, and pitchfork, each of which has its own use case. Hammerhead is designed to do more damage to buildings. The piercer ammo is meant for attacking armoured vehicles. Incendiary ammo does remote barbecuing, as you would expect. And pitchfork ammo is for crowd control, it seems, with a larger area damage against players. Shields have also had another couple of changes this week. You now won't be able to run with a shield raised, but you can now use tool guns and hammers with them, but only for repairing stuff, not upgrading. Please note also that siege weapons and shields have now been pushed back to February, so I'm told. Elsewhere, the team are working on better clouds, including shadows being cast by them. The jungle biomes had some more commits this week, including a ziggurat and walkways, plus more work on the jungle building skin, which, as mentioned previously, will be another one for stone tier. There are more commits on the boomerang, including a view model and world model, but no other details yet. And lastly, two very interesting sets of commits. Firstly, a new medieval barricade is being worked on, and secondly, another new branch entitled Knight Armor DLC. So it does look like with siege weapons and recent talk of a medieval era game mode, Rust may well be leaning into something that I know a lot of you have an itch for. But what do you think to this, and indeed all the other changes this week? Please tell me all about it in the comments below. Leave a like and a sub if you would be so kind, please. And you can join me in a few other places, including my Steam group. All links are below, and support this channel via Patreon, YouTube memberships, and super thanks. I shall catch you all soon. But in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio. What a time to be alive!